So did this committee meet then to draw the lines? I mean, we're just trying to ascertain who exactly is responsible for drawing these maps at this point.
So the criteria has remained the same from the CRC. 76% of the districts remain the same, and that is what Californians will see. There were many folks, stakeholders, who've had an input on the map drawing process, but ultimately this is up to the decision of California voters, whereas
you didn't answer the question, dude.
Respect, we want to make sure that there's a nationwide Citizens Redistricting Commission, but the reality is we are in an emergency, and this is
what?
An emergency response. We're giving Californians over 2.5 months to review these maps and make a decision on whether or not we move forward with this constitutional amendment.
But is the Senate Elections Committee, we drew these maps? Like, you're ready to say that?
The Senate Rules Committee put these maps, the census tracts, onto the website.
So legislators drew the maps? Can we say that to our viewers?
Again, this was from CRC's criteria.
But who was looking over CRC's criteria to create the maps? Was it Paul Mitchell of Paul Mitchell Strategies?
It was input, again.
So you're refusing to say who drew the maps, which is the question.
It was testimony that was given to the CRC.
By
and again,
whom?
we're remaining consistent, making sure we're keeping interests together.
Zero transparency.
It's important to voters.
Well,
we're making sure that we are respecting the Citizens Redistricting Commission. Therefore, we see that only 76% of the voters remain in the district that they will be looking at when they review these maps. And that is what we're doing different from Texas.
You want to know why Democrats are so obsessed with Texas redistricting? Well, because they funneled tens of millions of dollars, over $35 million in 2024 alone, into the so-called Blue Texas Initiative, backed by heavyweights like George Soros, to turn the state purple and reframe it as a presidential battleground by 2032, according to the Wall Street Journal. For decades, Republicans held every statewide office in Texas, but Democrats bet on demographic shifts like increased Hispanic and suburban voter turnout to make inroads in the state. So in essence, Democrats built an entire political machine around demographic change through mass illegal and legal migration and voter registration drives in Texas. And then, with one redistricting cycle, Republicans slammed the door shut, wiping away those gains and securing the map for years. That's why California certainly becomes the hill Democrats are willing to die on. They know their national relevance is tied to protecting California's bloated congressional delegation, one already propped up by population counts that for years were padded by non-citizens, as we've already discussed. Strip away all of that in the next census, add in the reality that California Democrats are bleeding voters to the GOP or no party preference in the state, and the Democrat supposed fortress looks more like a crumbling castle. So when Senator Sabrina Cervantes dodges a question of who actually drew these maps, when she repeats, "This is the most transparent process," like a broken record, it's not transparency. It's desperation. Democrats are clinging to California not just for state power, but because they know if they lose their stronghold here, they lose their grip on Washington. And with it, an entire generation of cultural and political dominance built on bad ideas, failed policies, and institutional capture. So the question you have to ask yourself is simple. If the Democrats in charge can't even tell you who's actually drawing the lines that will define the power behind your vote, what else are they hiding? If transparency now means silence and democracy now means one-party control, how much longer will we keep taking their words at face value? This moment isn't just about maps or elections. It's about whether you still believe the system actually serves you or whether you're finally willing to see that it's being engineered by Democrats to control you and your ability to control your own government. The louder Democrats shout about saving democracy, the more you should wonder, whose democracy are they really trying to save? And what does that cost to you? You tell me what you think in the comments down below. Hope you have a terrific day. Peace.